The championship games this year are going to be both incredibly exciting and evenly matched. The last time the Packers and Bucks met in the regular season, Aaron Rodgers got embarrassed, played terribly, and the Bucks defense showed up in a big way. Picked off Aaron Rodgers twice, taking one to the house. Tom Brady, I would like to remind people in this game, didn't play the best either. Only threw for 166 yards, 2 touchdowns. He managed the game. He did what he needed to do, but he didn't play spectacular. The defense is not going to bail Brady out in the Bucks this time around. Since the Bucks game, Aaron has thrown for 37 touchdowns, has a 123.3 quarterback rating, and is on a 7-game winning streak. He ran away with the MVP since that game and is going to toss his turtleneck on, brave the snow, and dominate the warm weather Buccaneers in the championship game. Devin White from Louisiana and the rest of the defense will not be able to handle Lambeau Field. The Packers rush attack, trio of running backs, and of course Aaron Rodgers will be too much to handle. I think the Packers offense is going to put on a show. As for the Bucks offense, I think they're going to struggle early in the game like they have all year long, especially due to the weather conditions. Godwin may drop a few passes, someone may slip, and the running backs are going to struggle with footing. Now, of course, coming from me, this sounds like Brady slander. I know it does, but I do not think it'll all be on him. He has played in the snow for years. The snow is not going to affect his ability to make throws. We'll know he'll be deflating balls, but I think he's going to play decent. It's going to come down to what he has around him. I love to slander Brady, but I genuinely believe if his numbers aren't pretty, or if the Bucks lose in a landslide, it will be due to his supporting cast and the fact they weren't ready for the center stage in Lambeau.
I used to say I'll never pick against the Patriots in the playoffs after years and years of them upsetting teams who were supposed to end the dynasty and having each team fail miserably. I kind of gave up hope. After this season, I changed that somewhat. I will never pick against Tom Brady in the playoffs. The weather in Lambeau Field does not look like it's particularly friendly to a Florida team. But again, Brady once threw for 5 touchdowns during a blizzard in a single quarter. He's fine if things get a little bit nippy. Aaron Rodgers certainly has had a better season and will win the MVP award. That doesn't mean a damn thing to Tom Brady. If anything, that will serve as motivation for him. And in a game like this, weather could be a factor, but I don't think the Buccaneers will suffer nearly as much as Tristan is predicting. Defenses don't really wilt in the cold. If anything, they start hitting better, they start playing better, they go harder. The run game will be more important, and the Buccaneers have a better rushing offensive line and a better set of running backs, in my opinion. If it comes down to a shootout, I cannot imagine picking against Tom Brady in the playoffs. Now, Aaron Rodgers certainly better right now, but Tom Brady over the past 20 years has just beaten it into me over and over again. He will find a way to win close playoff games against high-level competition. At the end of the day, the Buccaneers are winning this game in Lambeau Field, and the argument will forever be settled that Brady is far and away better than Rodgers. Final score, Buccaneers 31, Packers 28.
Now, we've never seen Aaron Rodgers in a home championship game at Lambeau. He's never gotten to experience that before, so I think there's something to say for that. He's never been in the playoffs with that opportunity. I think the weather is going to be too much for the rest of the Buccaneers to handle. I think the weather obviously is going to have a heavy influence on the game. Aaron Rodgers is going to be discount double-checking his way into the Super Bowl while Brady is busy going back to Tampa to shine his ring collection. I think the score of this game is going to wind up being 27-20. Packers come out on top. Isaiah and I obviously disagree on it. He may not think the Packers are going to win simply because he's a Vikings fan, and it hurts him watching the Vikings suffer every year in the Packers' wake.
Vikings always win 1 or 2 games a year against the Packers, but as always, you sound incredibly bitter talking about Tom Brady, which I get it. Not sure why you, as a Giants fan, the team who beat him twice, are bitter, but hey, what are you gonna do? Way back in October, the Chiefs and the Bills faced off in a sloppy game featuring poor quarterback play, both from Patrick Mahomes, but especially from Josh Allen, and a dominant rushing performance from Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Since then, the Bills have won 11 of 12 games and have rested their playoff hopes squarely on Josh Allen's shoulders. Fortunately for them, Josh Allen has some really wide shoulders. If the Bills travel to Kansas City, and if Josh Allen puts on a show, which I know he will, and when they upset the Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning Super Bowl champions, there will start to be a dialogue on if Josh Allen should be in the same conversation as Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, in terms of the best quarterbacks in the league, which he certainly should. The Bills will win this game because of Josh Allen. He will have an all-time performance. He will dissect the Chiefs' secondary, and he will put an incredible amount of pressure on Patrick Mahomes to score whenever he gets the ball, something which he is not used to. And Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback. He's an all-time great quarterback, but he's dealing with a neck injury, and he's dealing with a sore ankle. He is not going to be able to replicate the feats of athleticism we have seen from him throughout his entire career. He will not be able to run as well as he normally is. He will not be able to survey the field as well as he normally is. And he will not be able to execute on the deep throws like he normally can. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he's healthy, but the Bills' rushing defense is also healthy. A unit which was picked apart in their last matchup will come up in a big way, much like they did against the Colts and much like they did against the Ravens, the best rushing attack in the league. Josh Allen will lead the Buffalo Bills to their first Super Bowl in a long, long time, further drawing comparisons to the all-time great quarterback Jim Kelly. Final score, Bills 45, Chiefs 34.
Well, Isaiah, I'm sorry to say, but you're wrong on this one. We agree on a few things, and I'll get to that in a little bit, but I disagree with you on the outcome. I think this game is going to be an absolute fireworks show. The scoreboard will not be able to keep up with the points. Mahomes is coming off a weird neck injury, I guess, or concussion. I think he's in concussion protocol.
What are you gonna do?
We don't know at this point. He's probably going to play in the game because he's been getting paid millions and millions of dollars. And we all know if for some reason the independent concussion specialist says he's not allowed to play, we know it's going to be a landslide for the Bills. So
the independent concussion specialist, who is paid by the NFL, by the way.
That is true. I think the Bills' rushing defense is going to be taken advantage of again. We've mentioned it in other weeks, and we all know the Chiefs have the ability to light up anyone through the air. And the last time these two teams played, the Chiefs played smart, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire got 161 yards on the ground, averaging 6.1 yards a carry. I don't think the Chiefs are going to be stubborn in this game and try and air the Bills out, try and keep up with Josh Allen's passing numbers when they don't need to. The Chiefs offense is extremely gifted, and I do not see the Bills being able to slow down Mahomes combined with their rushing attack. On the other side, you have the Bills offense, which has been prolific this year, one of the best in the NFL, going against the Chiefs defense, who I admit is not a bunch of world beaters, but I personally think as a collective, they are somewhat underrated. Chris Jones and Tyrann Mathieu are the real deal. They are a better defense than they were 2 years ago and last year. They don't necessarily require Mahomes to carry them to the promised land every single quarter or every single game. The Bills are also going to have to deal with a stadium filled with some fans. It's going to be a little bit louder than they're used to at an away game. And I have jumped on the Josh Allen train, but I do not think it is his year to get to the Super Bowl. He'll probably perform this game. I think he's going to play extremely well. He will even make us question. Isaiah mentioned this briefly. If he is better than Mahomes, he's going to put himself in that conversation this game. But he is going to be headed to the offseason, where I think the Bills will continue to build their incredibly young roster, come back even better than next year, and maybe we'll even see Allen raise his completion percentage to 80 or something crazy like that. He made a crazy completion percentage jump this year. The Chiefs are going to win this game by a razor thin margin of 49-48. Everyone needs to be betting the over in this game, and I have the Chiefs, winning it by the 1-point margin.
Well, a few things wrong with what you said. One, you realize that Bills had 7,000 or 8,000 fans in attendance for their last playoff game, right?
Yeah, it was a home game though.
Trust me, it got loud there on both sides of the ball. Two, you said Clyde Edwards-Helaire was going to have another dominant performance. You didn't say he was going to be the sole feature of the offense, but you say he was going to be a factor. You realize that Lamar Jackson, the best running quarterback we have ever seen, a man who had an offense built around him in weather conditions that strongly favored a rushing attack, high winds, got humiliated and exposed by this Bills defense. This is not the Bills front seven that we saw during the regular season. They have taken leaps and bounds. I think anyone who watched last week's game should be aware of that. Granted, they won't be able to sell out as much to stop the run. They've got Tre'Davious White, they've got Josh Norman, they've got real cornerbacks back there who are capable of keeping up with the Chiefs receivers and tight ends. I just do not see the Chiefs managing to get to 49 or however many points you said. They're not getting over 35, let's be honest here.
Well, it's a very different running. You can't compare the Ravens rushing attack to any other team in the NFL. And if you shut down the Ravens rushing attack, which the Bills are able to do, it's not like they have an elite passing attack or prototypical passing attack that is able to pick apart you down the field. And with the Chiefs they can pass on anybody, and they are able to run the ball.
The Bills will win, and the Bills Mafia will be circling wagons in Tampa Bay.
Circling wagons?
Circling the wagons.
That has been the video. Let us know who you have winning the championship games down in the comments below. Do you think Josh Allen will prove to us all that he's a top 5, top 3, maybe the best quarterback in the league? Does Brady have one more left in him? Subscribe. We're at a whopping 69 subscribers. Leave a like, and we'll see you in the next one.